What is up, guys? This is Mark with the Mic, and this is another Wrestling Babble podcast by Wrestling Link. I'm Mark with the Mic, joined by Louis Beans.
What is up? What is up?
And we are in like week 2 of quarantine.
This is true.
We're still trying to get these casts for you guys. We're still talking to see what we're gonna do with the morphing cast, and because usually we do that in person, so that might be one that we have to do online as well.
Go ahead. Why not? I was going to suggest it as well.
So, something that we like. Again, this is the Wrestling Babble podcast, but I'm going to give you a little update of what we're doing with our other casts. So, we're going to make this Oz Shell Shock a bi-monthly cast.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be every 2 months, so we don't have to record so much things at one shot.
Okay, I feel
the
that.
morphing cast is going to stay monthly. The Not a Trekkie, I think, is going to be a bi-monthly. So the month that you don't get Shell Shack, you'll get this Not a Trekkie.
Okay, cool.
So
cool.
keep it like that. So it's not so much shit going. And then,
But hey, I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
At least now, if you do the morphing cast, if you do it by the internet, then I can join it.
Yeah.
Do our hangouts.
Yeah. So like this week we might have to do that, especially if nothing changes and we're still quarantine wise. So I think me, Tommy, we could probably record with you. We're gonna be doing Lost Galaxy.
Okay.
And that'll be I still haven't finished it yet.
So who's got that?
Huh?
To watch?
Oh, Netflix.
Is that still on Netflix?
They're all on Netflix. Yeah. All the American ones are on Netflix.
Okay.
Even Beast Morphers, they had the first season on Netflix.
And that's the latest season?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, cool.
Well, it's on the second part of the first season, but yeah, it's the new season.
Okay.
So those are little updates and like that. There's talk. Me and him had a conversation. I even will bring it up to you as well, because we all like are very into like the retro style, like Sega and old school Sega, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, shit like that. So we kind of thought about doing something of a retro game podcast as well. Mm-hmm. So that's something is just an idea up in the air. But the fact that me and him, the fact that me and him been going to a lot of, I've been like dabbling on retro shit, and then he's been collecting, and he took me to the store, Game On, shout outs to them, in Long Island. It's Miller Place, the one I went to. It's in Miller Place, Long Island. And it's a very nice, friendly store, very nice, something to go into. Has all the old games, has systems ready for you could just touch and play, and everything like that. And
so let me ask you, Mark, what is, if you would like to purchase retro games today, are all of them gonna cost you a pretty penny, or is it still a hobby most people can get into?
It's it depends on the system you're collecting, I guess.
So what about Sega Genesis?
Genesis varies. It depends on the game.
Okay.
Like if you're going for like Streets of Rage and things like that, you possibly could get them pretty decent price, depending on if it's in the box or out the box, depending on how you're collecting.
Okay.
But I'll go more into that in the Gets Better SR cast, so we could just really go into that and we gotta talk about it more. But this is the wrestling cast, so we're gonna go, and also like talking about the retro games. I'm starting a collection of all the WWE, WWF games.
So where are you at right now?
So right now, because of Tommy's help yesterday, he got me 2K. I got all the 2Ks done.
Oh, nice.
So he got me. I'm only doing it one per system, so I'm not gonna go and get the PS3 and 360. No,
I get that. I understand.
I'm gonna get one of them. So funny thing is, like my collection of the 2K games started on Xbox, and the last 2 were on PS4. So
I get that.
I have most of them.
Play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because I got the Pros, the Pro runs faster than I have the Xbox One S, so it runs as good, but it's not as powerful as the Pro. So I go with the Pro now. Yeah. But so I got all the 2Ks done. Though I'm missing one. I'm missing 2K14, which is the one with the Rock on the cover.
Okay.
Which is easy to get. I could probably get it. But the thing is, like at GameStop.com, I won't order it because you're not guaranteed to have the case.
Really?
I want the case. I want the full case. I'm going to switch it to the Daniel Bryan cover because fuck the Rock. And I'm mad because I had that game. I knew I had it. But I thought
Okay.
about just like collecting the WWF, WWE games, and then I'll probably dabble in the WCW games, and then maybe if I go from there, I'll probably get the ECW stuff.
You
But
plan on like actually like playing them when you get them, or you just gonna collect them?
I'm thinking about like start streaming them and actually doing the full stream of the games as well every week and have a different game and stuff like that too. So I'm thinking about doing each one like the story mode in each one, or at least the universe mode, and play a bunch of little things here and there
Okay.
and see. So that's the goal of everything. I still have my 360. It runs pretty smooth, so I have a lot of the 360 ones already done with the 2K.
Oh, can I ask you?
Yeah.
Since you have an Xbox S, can you play the? Did they do the work for those versions of the game?
Sadly, no,
Oh, wow. So you can't. So
because
none of the wrestling games are on the backwards compatibility
only the
list?
2Ks.
Only the 2Ks. Gotcha.
Because 2K, that's when 2K bought them out, but 2K12 is not. I think it's from 13 up.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
2K WWE 12 was still THQ,
Okay. All right.
and that's before they added the 2K to it.
Well, now I know. All
Yeah.
right.
So and then yeah, going from there. So I kind of made a list of everything that, like, mainly the PS2, all the ones the PS2 before I went to the next gen. Then I'll get everything on 360 that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and then probably the PlayStation ones were which are pretty easy to get. Like I've seen SmackDown and SmackDown 2 for like maybe $6, so that's
That's
something
good.
easy to
That's
get.
good.
I've seen Attitude for $2. I've seen Warzone for a buck
I was
50.
about to say.
So yeah, so it's gonna be possible. I'm gonna see
Yeah,
how
let me
far I
know
want to
when
go
you gonna
with
play
it.
that. Please let me know when you
Yeah.
find that and play that. I want to see that. Or Raw is War.
Wars War.
Woo!
I
Talk
have
about
Wars
some
War.
hot- Wait.
I have Wars
You got
War.
that already?
I have a Super Nintendo. Yeah.
No. The Raw is War for specifically the PlayStation version. You want to talk about
Wars
hot
War. No,
garbage?
that's Xbox.
No.
Wars
Okay.
War was on Xbox.
Oh, that's
It
the
was
name of
it was the
game.
Xbox exclusive game.
Yeah, that's
And then
right.
they did Raw 2, and then they did the crappy ass WrestleMania 21 game.
Yeah, Raw 2 had. It was Raw 2 the one with the really good character creator.
Had a really good creative character, but the rest of the
Yeah.
game sucked.
Yeah, that's the game style. Okay, I know. I played that with Japstar. That was pretty good.
And you were able to rip your music into the game.
Yes,
That
you
was the
were.
other cool thing. Same thing
I mean,
with
okay.
the 360 ones. You could do that.
So I'm saying the wrong name. It must just be Warzone, right? Is that the only one
No,
that's Raw branded for
WWE. It
PlayStation
was
1?
WWF Raw for Xbox, then WWF Raw 2 for Xbox. The
So which
ones that were
one?
on the PlayStation exclusive was the PlayStation 2 wise was the WWE.
No,
It was
one.
PlayStation 1.
Yes, one.
It was
Yes.
SmackDown Know Your Role. It was Warzone, WWF Warzone, and then WWF Attitude.
I think it might be. It might be Attitude.
And
Is
then
it the one that are they polygonal?
hmm?
Are they polygon characters in that game,
Yeah.
or is it like sprites? You know?
If you remember the what was Warzone looked like.
I think it's the one that looked like hot garbage.
And then you had In Your House and WWE the WWF the arcade game.
So that was an update of the arcade game, right? The In Your House?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing my history and I'm looking at the price wise and shit like that. So I was like, all right, it's possible and it's something I could do easily and take my time with. I did pick up. So Tommy picked up 2K13 and 2K12 for me at Game On. Shout outs to them. And usually, they're really cool with that shit. Like, you buy like 3 of the $5 games, man, they give you like two free and things like that. So they always like will hook you up. If you're buying stuff, they always hook you up.
Oh, good. Nice.
He got me like
Okay,
a shitload of the
okay.
WCW cards again.
Okay, it is Warzone. Ooh.
Yeah,
Tell me
Warzone
when
was
you play that
terrible,
one.
and that was
Yeah, I know. Tell me when you play that one. I
yeah,
want.
that one was pretty brutal. I gotta figure out how to record from the PlayStation though. And then
I'm
I'll
starting
see.
to. You might have to record from the PlayStation 3
Yeah,
if you still have it, because
I don't.
oh, you don't. Shit.
I could possibly get one cheap.
Because yeah, that game's not on the store
Oh,
to
okay.
buy for PS4. That's the thing.
I could probably record off the PS2
Oh,
because I have
yeah,
the HDMI. I have the HDMI converter for the PS2,
yeah.
so I could hook that up to my my Elgato.
Oh shit! Here we go.
So Yeah. You know what? I might. What if everything cleared out and we're not quarantined? I'll probably just have you come over and we'll like stream those games and we have
Oh boy,
conversation and shit
Warzone.
and
Ooh,
curse each other out and all.
ooh. There was a time I fell into a hole because that was the only game we had that was new,
Yeah.
and I was just making creative characters and just like, I actually learned how to play that game,
Yeah.
and it didn't feel good.
No,
It didn't feel
it
good.
was a hard game. I think Attitude was slightly better. Attitude was a lot better, but it still had a lot of the problems as well.
Okay, I got you.
But then they also went into doing the ECW games. The ECW games, the same engine.
Oh boy.
It was ECW Revolution and then ECW. I think it
Dude,
was just ECW and then ECW Revolution.
what was that WCW game for 64? That was absolute garbage. It was like
Nitro.
it was Nitro?
Nitro. It was Nitro.
No, the backstage assault.
Backstage. There was quite a few dumpster fires of WCW. It was
Yeah.
Nitro, Thunder, the
Yes.
the
Yes.
backstage assault, and then Mayhem.
Oh yeah, Mayhem. I remember we had Mayhem.
Yeah,
Oh, that was terrible.
Mayhem was pretty fucking bad. And then you had the good ones, which was World Tour and Revenge. Which Revenge is probably the best WCW game, hands down.
I can see that.
100%. That was the best game.
Mhm.
And then you had on PlayStation, they had the Nitro Thunder, which they both was doo doo. The only thing good off those games were the promos before you pick the character. I think that was the best thing about those games.
But they were hilarious.
Yeah.
You remember Kevin Nash's?
Mhm.
Hey, pick me. Come on. You know you want to.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah. So those are really retarded and stuff like that. So
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm looking to like start collecting and probably like when I change my wrestling display, I'll probably buy like little cases that can put the games like straight forward and display it in a way. So that's my idea of why I want to do it. So it's like the wrestling games. I'm stick with the wrestling. I'm gonna stick with WWF first and see how far I get with that. Then WCW is a little bit easier, I think, because they're cheap.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, so I'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so far the 2Ks I'm almost done, and I got All Stars. I found All Stars on eBay for like $7, and it was a complete.
Nice. Did you get the stick?
No, it was just a
Damn.
game. I have the arcade stick though.
That one?
No, I have the regular arcade stick.
No, I'm just saying for the collective purposes. That's a one of a kind stick. Man.
Yeah, that was like a little too expensive. You know what I think I still have though? I think I have the fight pad.
I don't even know the name, though.
It had like Macho and John Cena on it and stuff.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I found that one really cheap on eBay. So I was like, all right, and the guy showed the disc on the picture and everything like that. So I was like, appreciative with that because I want to be able to play these games. I don't want to just have them.
I understand that.
So I got it for 360 and should be hopefully sometime next week. But yeah, going into we could go into for a lot of wrestling games because the wrestling is fun like that, and like I have not touched 2K20 at all.
Wait. You mean to tell me you haven't played the Haunted House with Nikki Cross?
Nope, I haven't also played the future shit that happened recently. I haven't touched that.
With the hacker Johnny Gargano?
Yeah, it's just bad.
Oh man.
It just makes me sad because they could have been so much better.
I agree.
I still have Fire Pro. I should jump on Fire Pro
Okay.
and see what they have to offer because I haven't played that game in a long time, and I saw they added so much shit to it as well.
You mean the newest version?
Yeah, the Fire Pro Wrestling World for the PS4
Okay. Cool.
because they added this whole pack of the junior weights from for Japan, and they also added some of the New Japan new guys like Jay White and a couple other people.
Oh shit. Okay.
They added Stardom, which is the female Japanese wrestling, and then they have this whole like campaign thing too. They have different pieces you can buy on there. So I'm gonna wait till everything's cheap and then I'll fucking probably.
Did I I don't know if I sent you that one, or did we talk about the campaign in one of the Fire Pros where it ends where your character is trying to prevent themselves from committing suicide?
Yes, yeah, we talked about that a while ago.
Okay,
I remember
okay,
that.
yeah, that's some dark shit.
Yeah.
Jeez,
So
what
yeah,
is going on in Fire
that's
Pro?
the world of wrestling games right now. This you're in quarantine. If you want wrestling games, yeah, there's a lot of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
Play the older ones though; they're better.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, he also picked me up that terrible Legends of Wrestling WrestleMania. That was the other one he got, but that was
What's
it was only like $3. So,
what system was that for?
play it was a 360 and PS3.
Okay, okay,
It was a game they made between the 2K games that kind of like they did with All Stars, but All Stars should have got a sequel and not that game.
okay, okay.
It was pretty bad. Like the
Did
gameplay
you like
was
the other Legends game, Legends of Wrestling,
that was
the first
terrible as
one?
well.
Yeah, no. But did you? I like the graphics of that one. They had the looks down for everybody,
Yeah,
but it just played bad.
yeah, yeah. Legends of Wrestling. Yeah, that was the independent one, and they did three of them, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. So this one came like the one I'm talking about came out 2019. No, 2009. And All
Okay.
Stars came out 2011.
Mm.
So they like I this was during the time THQ wanted to make a second wrestling game while the other people worked on the 2K games.
Yes.
So they had a different group do this one, and it reviewed pretty bad. It has some cool things like just the moments and wise, but the gameplay was pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of other side ones
Yeah.
of that era, I would say, besides All Stars, were like, oh, this is a cool idea, but the execution is just like, I can't play this.
Yeah, but it's just like that. What was the Crush Hour one, which was fucking terrible.
Oh, jeez.
That one was really bad.
You gotta find that. You still have that?
No, I'm actually I have that in my list. It's just one of the ones on my list to see if I
Okay.
can find it.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
seen it. I think I did see it in Game On. I think it was like $7. So that'll
All
probably
right.
be something that I'll pick up and just see how terrible that shit is.
Oh man. Damn. Mm-mm.
Before we go into our weekend reviews of wrestling and everything like that, I sent you the link of the Dark Side of the Ring season 2 started, and
Oh, with Chris Benoit
yo,
with the first
it
episode.
was really good. It was very interesting. There's a part 2 coming on Tuesday.
Okay. Okay.
It's a really good start to the story. It really talks about his everything that was going on with him and everything like that. So
Who's putting that out so I can find it,
It's on
or anybody
Vice.
listening
It's
can
on
find it.
Vice. Vice TV. That's what they're called.
Okay.
And yeah. They sometimes post their like you can probably find it on YouTube. I found it on YouTube, but
Mm.
it depends
Okay.
where you're doing.
What's up?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that. Oh, right. They're continuing because they did one last year, right?
Yes. They did.
Okay.
And that was a really good series. They had they had stuff about the Montreal Screwjob, Bruiser Brody, the Macho Man Elizabeth story. It had a lot of things like that. It was actually really good.
And I
The,
know, like, the one of the reasons people liked it was for the accuracy, right?
it was accurate. I know Bret Hart didn't like the way they did the Montreal Screwjob one because he had issues with it. I guess like they kind
Gotcha.
of tell the story the way that he told it. And the thing is with Bret, I'll honestly say every time he talked about the Montreal Screwjob, he always stuck with the same story. He never changed his
Okay.
story.
That makes a
Compared
lot
to
of
like
sense.
Shawn Michaels and all of them, they always changed their story. Bret stood consistent every single time he talked about it.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
it depends.
Oh, well, shit. Did you hear about him this week or last week?
No,
He had
I
an
didn't.
interview and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was talking all types of shit.
Oh man, he fucking hates Goldberg. Yeah, yeah. It was on the Broken Skull.
And then, like, other little tidbits came out as
Yeah.
news. But yeah. 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 So,
Yeah, but he has like I understand why he has the bitterness to him.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like yo, he was careless to him. Like he fucking almost ended his career.
He did.
Yeah, he did
Put him
end
out.
his career. Yeah,
He put him out.
so it's
So,
just like yeah, I understand Brett's like bitterness to him, and honestly, he didn't forgive him, and you guys put him in the Hall of Fame, and this is the kind of
yeah.
career he had. Like yeah, I could understand him. I understand why he has that bitterness towards him.
Yeah. Definitely understand that.
Like I'll probably have some bitterness towards someone too if they fucking broke my neck, fucking concussed me, and I can't continue my career.
This is true. You're right.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But it was a good conversation between him and Austin. So definitely,
Okay. Gotcha.
definitely watch that. It's really good.
Okay. Cool.
So the weekend wrestling, we did do our review of Monday Night Raw of this week because we did and line up doing the show a little late, so we were able to do it. So we have AEW, we have NXT, and we got SmackDown this week. Sadly, no NWA until further notice. They're not recording at all. They kind of stopped. So wherever they have left recorded, they probably just gonna add onto it. But I think they have like the whole that tough enough kind of shit. I think that I think they finished filming that.
So they're gonna be rolling the rest of that out.
They probably be rolling the rest of that, or they probably be showing. They probably like re-show the whole seasons and some matches that we never actually got to see, like the Cody Rhodes Nick Aldis match and things like that.
I will say, in terms of who else was wrestling, I know there was Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
They were still showing. I don't know if those are pre-recorded things from before or okay, cool. So
they record like 3 months ahead, so they have a lot of shows still in their bank. They got a lot of stuff.
Gotcha.
I know WWE's doing the same practice right now for Raw, SmackDown. They are going to record everything before WrestleMania.
Makes sense.
So Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are all going to be pre-recorded. So stay away from the wrestling news channels and things like that if you don't want spoilers, because they tend to spoil everything. And I think AEW is still going to try to do live shows as well, but they might not be able to depending on the limit of people that they have, because they kind of got in trouble for what they did the other night.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Like at least these guys are. I give all of them credit. At least these guys are still trying to give us content and still trying to give us something to be entertained by, without all the shit going on in the world today. They still trying to keep a smile on our face in that way. So that's a great thing.
Yes.
So
I always appreciate that.
So I have a lot of respect for that. So we could start off with NXT. NXT was a unusual show. It wasn't a regular NXT wrestling show. It was a storytelling show. Like they had the full-on story of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and God, that was fantastic.
Yeah, we brought this up before. Maybe it was like for our year end last year, but we were talking about how that storyline has been one of the best told in all of wrestling in the most recent history.
Yeah, and best told, and just been consistent with everything.
Yes.
Like, definitely. There was reasons why they tagged again. There was reasons why they fought each other. There's reasons why for everything they did, and that's something that I appreciate as a wrestling fan. Is like, word, you are not fucking with our intelligence. You are showing us the continuing story of everything that's going on. We love that.
True. That's true.
The way they told the story was fantastic. It was like I thought it was gonna be a boring episode, to be honest with you, because they said it was gonna be like a documentary series kind of thing. But then again, WWE does really good with the documentary series, so I was just not gonna watch it right away, I guess. So then I started watching it, and I got hooked.
Yeah. I watched the entire thing in one sitting. Didn't pause it to go watch something else. It was awesome.
Yeah, and then kudos to the storytelling of Finn Balor. I love that whole stitch with his story.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved the Rhea Ripley story as well. So it was a lot of good storytelling for that episode of NXT. Like, if you really have not kept up with NXT throughout the last 3 years with Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano, this was a really good way to learn why this fight is so important.
Yes, I agree. Also, just like you said, if you haven't really been paying attention to NXT, these are like the most important, for better or for worse, because they didn't have a Keith Lee story, they didn't have a Undisputed Era story, but these are like the hottest feuds going on right now.
And these are and these guys they've been NXT from the start, so it's like this is a very homegrown NXT storyline.
Yes,
which is great. So. I would recommend everyone to watch this episode. It was really good, really fun, and you got to really get to know these characters a lot more into their characters and everything like that, and it was a fun show to watch.
Yes, I definitely recommend it to anybody
Yeah,
who's a wrestling fan. If you're not a wrestling fan, this they had so much drama, so much like it was gripping. You just sit there like, damn, I already know everything,
yeah,
but I want to sit here and watch this.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's just good
yeah,
television.
yeah.
So
So yeah, I give it a S just for the creativity and the storytelling.
yeah, making the best out of a bad situation.
I
I'll give it
kind
an
of
S.
I kind of wanted Triple H to draw on this dude's face too, but he didn't do it.
Oh man.
Anyway, moving on. AEW has had a quiet show as well. They had a non-audience show, but the difference they did have the wrestlers participate in the audience,
Okay. Cool. Cool.
like Sean Spears and MJF for like betting on the matches and shit like that, things like that. So it was
Oh,
actually quite fun to
that's
watch.
pretty funny.
Brandy
All
Rose
right.
is
Cool. Cool.
announcing, which is the role that she used to do in NXT, and that was the first time she actually
Oh,
announced
okay.
in a long time. But you also saw like you saw Lance Archer and Jake the Snake in the crowd, and Rollo, and you had a big baby face side of everything as well. It was cool. I didn't mind that. They kept it integration interactive, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, you had one of the first matches was the the Lucha Bros versus the Best Friends. Um, it was an okay match. A lot of like this show had a lot of botch. Like there was so much botch into the thing that, honestly, at least there was no crowds to be like you fucked up kind of thing. But it was a decent match. It was kind of story driven because Phoenix and Pentagon are part of that Trinity, that Death Trinity, whatever it's called, with Pac. So it was actually pretty decent.
All right. Cool. Cool.
You had a 4-way for a four. What was it? Yeah, a 4-way for the women's champion. It was a 4-way women's match. It was Sheeta versus Riho versus Statlander and versus Penelope Ford.
Okay.
Um, Sheeta won. It was an okay match. It was again a very botch fest kind of thing. So it was hard to keep it going when they fucked up. But other than that, they just tried their best.
I got
That's
you.
all I
Okay.
could tell you. Jurassic Express versus Butcher and Blade. I didn't care for this match at all. I do not like Butcher and Blade, so I kind of like fast forward this.
Oh no, I wanted to know if Jurassic Express was all right.
Um, they
They're one of the
were
few people I really
they're
like to watch.
alright, but again, like Butcher and Blade is just not that great.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
But Luchasaurus, I think they won, so
Okay.
good for them. The Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson revealed the identity of the XL1. I hate the fact that they botched the fucking entrance of him because you kind of saw him coming out before they announced who was the person.
Really?
So if you remember his Bludgeon brother walk when he came out, you knew exactly who it was. Because he
Oh.
has the same exact gear, it's just fucking white and gold instead of fucking black and red.
Okay. Okay.
He had a good promo. I'll give him credit, Brody. But the one thing that bothered me is like you just went right back into a fucking Bray Wyatt cult.
I
You
see.
just went one cult to another cult, and you just like you pretty much it was like straight up typecasting. I felt honestly I wanted him to be with Jake the Snake more than Lance Archer.
Uh,
And I thought that would have been a cool, just a weird team up. But I would have liked to see him more of a threat kind of thing.
yeah.
But it looks like he just went into a different cult of a white family kind of cult.
Yeah. I mean, isn't I don't want to say isn't that what the Dark Order is, but the Dark Order is a quote unquote cult as well,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of went right into the same thing, and I was like, I did like his promo. He had a good promo. He kind of like talked about like old man and had no, he pretty much like, didn't pay attention to me and shit like that. So like then he did his own thing. The promo was good. It's just again you went right back into the same character.
Yeah.
So that
I
kind of
get that. I
disappointed
get
me.
that. Definitely understand.
The next match you had the Inner Circle. It was Hager, Santana, Ortiz, and Sammy Guevara, and was outside the ring, versus the Elite, Cody, R. Anderson, Matt Jackson, Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega. It was a fun match. It was going back and forth, and then it just went into a straight out brawl afterwards, and then pretty much we also got introduced to the team, the person they're gonna be teaming up with at that Blood and Guts, which I think they're delaying it as well.
Gotcha.
So we got the person that they picked to be the 5th member, which you saw Vanguard 1 flying in the building, and it was Matt Hardy.
Did he use the hologram from Vanguard 1?
No. He was just like all the way on the other side, and he was just doing the delete, and then he was like, yes, and then he had the red hair. He didn't really do a promo during this, but they just showed him and him doing his reactions. It would have been honestly.
That was like the end of the show.
Yeah, and that was the end of the show.
Okay.
The piano. At least they had the piano play and things like that. So at least they had that with the character. I think he's gonna have fun with this character because Matt Hardy knows what he's doing with that character, and I feel like WWE didn't allow him to do it. I knew that he could easily be over if they just let him fucking control it. And I knew it was not gonna happen in WWE. Like, if it's not Vince's idea, he doesn't really care for it.
I know. That's unfortunate.
It's like the Bullet Club. It's like the club. It's the same thing. It's like, if it's not his, he doesn't really care for it. NWO, it wasn't his, so he didn't care for it.
Yep.
So,
you're right.
But it was cool. Like, it's nice seeing Matt Hardy there. I think he's gonna be a pleasant surprise there. I think we all know what he could do, especially with that character, and especially if you listen to the Jericho podcast on Friday, he kind of talked to Jericho already, and it was actually a really good conversation. He actually really talked about what he really wanted to do, the ideas he had, and everything, especially some of the ideas he had with Bray Wyatt. I would have loved, but they just didn't go with it. So, I guess one man's past is the other man's like treasure kind of thing.
Yeah,
and I think AEW.
You know what? That's a story of wrestling, isn't it?
Yes. So I'm happy that he's there. I think he's gonna get more chance to really create the way he could do, and we all know he's a creative dude.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Very entertaining.
So AEW was fine. I thought it was the best of what they could do with that show. I give it a B plus.
Okay, cool. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, and then we got SmackDown back into the no crowd SmackDown. Michael Cole is pretty much just announcing by himself, which is I'm fine with that.
That's true. And he came down dancing to the ring. Oh Lord.
So we kicked off the show with Mojo Rawley.
In that fantastic suit of his.
Oh, damn. And then he announced Gron Gronkowski. He's going to be hosting WrestleMania. He looked like a goof.
I love it. I'm a fan of goofy ass like Mojo and goofy ass Gronk.
Yeah.
Just broing it up, staying hype. Because you know what? There's nobody else like that.
Yeah. No. Well, they had the hype bros, but you know what that happened.
It wasn't natural for Zack Ryder. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think he was ready to evolve already. And they just stuck him. He said they stuck him in that group, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's more Mojo's thing anyway.
Yeah.
So at least he's not painting his face anymore.
Yeah. And then we had King Corbin come out to interrupt them. And then he gets
these football guys.
He is a former NFL player as well.
And he may sort of mention it.
Yeah.
And then he was interrupted by Elias, who is sick. When he got in that ring, the one thing I noticed was, yes, Elias is a big man, but he is significantly smaller than all of those men.
Yep. He is a lot shorter than that.
Fucking Gronk is huge. Mojo is huge. And of course, Baron Corbin is fucking 6'8".
Yeah, because Baron Corbin is 6'8". I think Gronk is 6'5", 6'6".
Okay.
And then Mojo is 6'3".
So,
yeah.
Just towering.
A bunch of big dudes. Then we got our first match, which is Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak defeats Nakamura and Cesaro. It was a really fun match. I really enjoyed it.
That was low-key my match of the week because, there weren't that many.
Yeah.
But for me, I love it. I hope they they really become a unit, and
Yeah.
it's not a short-lived thing. I like this. I like Daniel Bryan having a partner
Yeah.
that's on his page. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I like the feud with that group against Sammy,
Yeah.
Nakamura, and Cesaro. It's cool.
I think all we're gonna do is get great matches off of these
Yes,
5 individuals. I'm all fine with that.
I agree.
Pretty much after the match, they kind of talked about if Drew Gulak beats Shinsuke Nakamura next week, Daniel Bryan fights Sami Zayn at WrestleMania for the IC title,
That's cool.
which I could
Again,
see.
I
Yeah,
just about to point that out. That see, at least somebody's keeping the belt relevant. Like
yeah,
you think about it and how Sammy could have easily just been like this little snide little guy that he never fights for the belt,
yeah,
but the belt is kind of always the centerpiece.
yeah.
So that's cool. I appreciate it.
Then we got the Page coming out, and then Bailey and Sasha Banks kind of like interrupted, and then so she told her what her match is gonna be at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Fox gave her the permission, and I don't
It
know
was.
why
I'm not
Tamina's.
gonna lie.
Yeah,
It was at 20. Is Tamina? Does she still work here?
yeah. I actually get no. I give Bailey a lot of credit. It was actually a really fun little segment with Paige and everything going on back and forth. I actually enjoyed it. So pretty much at WrestleMania is gonna be Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha Banks and Bailey all fighting for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yeah. Surprise plot twist. Now
Yep,
she's
yep,
got to fight Sasha. So.
yep, yep. Dun dun dun.
But
Um,
I would just point out, I love and hate how even though it's a bad situation, when they pan away, you can just see Sasha smiling.
yeah,
Like, God damn it, she's so fucking evil. She's gonna stab her foot in the back again.
yeah.
Can't wait.
And then we got a cool promo by Alexa and Nikki Cross for she's challenging Asuka. So next week it'll be Asuka versus Alexa Bliss.
Hmm.
And
I would like to point out one thing.
yeah,
Shout out to Nikki Cross for her peeking on Killian Day during his workout. And then recently he did a video where he did it to her. She was just doing this weird ass dance. Oh,
yeah.
my God. Those two are hilarious. And then Nikki Cross, the day before yesterday, or it was yesterday morning, a fan had tweeted out, "What the hell is this?" And it was a scene from the WWE, what is it, 2K20?
Oh, okay.
It was, and I was making fun of you earlier about, oh, you're not gonna fight her in the haunted house, but it showed her character like crawling on the wall and ceiling,
Yeah.
and then she did this thing with her neck, and it was just like, what the? That's crazy. I love it. So.
Yeah. So I'm happy that Asuka and Alexa Bliss next week on SmackDown.
Yes.
And then we got Ms. Morrison defeats Heavy Machinery with the help of Dolph Ziggler. It was a fun match.
This I didn't see. I didn't get to see from this part on.
So they started off with Ms. Morrison, the dirt sheet and shit, and them two kind of like impersonating the other characters. So they did the New Day. They did the New Day fans, and they had like a unicorn suit and shit like that. They did the Usos, which were just like they looked like the Usos, and then they did Heavy Machinery fans, they just dressed as bacon. And
What? Oh my goodness, I missed that. I gotta watch that.
so they did a whole promo and stuff like that. It was actually really funny, and then it led into this match, which was actually a solid match. I think it was a fun match to see. I like how Otis and Tucker work. They're like a very athletic version of the Natural Disasters.
Wow. All right. Okay. That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Wow.
A very
Hold
more
on.
athletic version.
I'm not gonna listen. Wait a second. I'm not gonna let you make fun of John Tenta though.
Yeah.
Shark.
Yeah. You know what?
Earthquake.
You know what's funny? What they showed. Someone posted it like who did a drop kick better, and they had a Hogan drop kick, and then they had a Earthquake drop kick, and Earthquake got up high and fucking did a perfect drop kick.
He was low key like a real athletic big man.
Yeah, the Shark.
The Shark.
Then he was the Sharks, and it was terrible.
I'm a man, not a shark. I remember that.
So yeah, Ms. Morrison got the win. Pretty much it looks like they're building on to a multi-man tag team championship match. Rumors is it might be a ladder match for these tag teams. So let's see, and hopefully they do something good with it.
Okay, cool.
And then we close out the show with Goldberg and Roman Reigns contract signing.
See, this part I did not see.
It was a decent. I liked the Roman's promo. He pretty much called him a little bulldog bitch, and he's getting tired of all these like guys that hasn't earned the title that you're having around your arm and things like that. So it was actually a really good promo. Kudos to Roman. Goldberg had his basic, "Oh, you're next." Blah, 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 blah. I fucking like Goldberg.
Oh,
Let's put Goldberg out of his misery, Roman, please.
yeah, let's beat him and send him home so he can be in quarantine.
Yeah, break his hip.
Because he's an old
Do
man.
it for Brett.
Go home, old man.
Do it for Brett. Instead of do it for The Rock, do it for Brett. I don't care. Like, I don't care for this match. I just hope Roman just kicks his ass, pretty much. And then they closed the show. Actually, in the middle of the show, they pretty much showed the John Cena Bray Wyatt match from WrestleMania 30.
And so what? That was 6 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, so they could kind of to kind of like tell the story of why he's awarding out to John Cena, kind of like that. I thought it was perfect, like showing that match, because I haven't showed that match in a while either.
I've never seen it, so I have to sit down and watch that.
So when you watch SmackDown, they're gonna show it. So
Okay, cool.
you watch the rest of SmackDown. They show. I think that they ended they ended the show with Goldberg and Roman, but before that they showed that match, and it was actually a really good match. It was a really good, fun match. I didn't think that was like 6 years ago, and then I'm like, oh shit, that was 6 years ago.
Wow.
And that's when Daniel Bryan won the titles against Triple H and then Orton and Batista in the same WrestleMania.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's when Taker lost too.
What? Damn. That means it hasn't been that long since the streak was broken. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I liked Roman's promo a lot. He kind of talked about like every legend wanted a piece of him, and he took them all out, kind of thing.
Mm.
And I was all fine with that. It was actually pretty good. So
Okay.
move on with that. SmackDown, I'll give B plus.
Good stuff. All right. So I gotta make sure to finish that up.
Yeah, it was a fun show. That's all we got for Week of Wrestling. It's gonna be small. It's gonna be a small thing now because of what's going on and the limited amount of shows.
At least it exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
at
can
least
very
we're
well
getting it.
stop.
Yeah.
They are well within the right to stop, and nobody should bitch if they
Yeah.
do. Nobody should be bitching at them in this current situation. Period. You know what I mean?
And they're still gonna bitch about it.
Yeah, that's just people being ungrateful. They don't realize how bad things are or could go.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there bitching about wrestling. Like, come on, guys.
The cool thing, if you do have ESPN and don't have the network, every Sunday they're gonna be airing a WrestleMania to the week of WrestleMania. So they're gonna
nice.
air WrestleMania 30 on ESPN this week.
Awesome.
Which is cool. I was like, if you don't have the network, you can watch it. But if you have the network, you can watch all of it.
You can watch
whatever
it
you want. Again, watched Bret Hart Austin interview. Really good interview. Very, very strong things that he had to say about Goldberg, which I could totally agree.
I would say. Also, don't forget podcasts. They're still going on too. So we
Yes.
did get a new episode of New Day last week.
Oh, the New Day podcast I loved.
It was awesome.
I didn't like. I don't agree with Dragon Ball Z being number one, but
Number one.
I liked everything else.
Yeah. I was sad when X-Men had to go.
Yeah.
But but listen, I know Kofi loves Dragon Ball, and we all know Xavier Woods loves Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
So it was
and Big E was just like, whatever.
Whatever. I can't fight this.
He was not gonna eat the chip, so.
Oh, is that Big E album real?
No, it was just him and Renee Young were having a dance off in their house.
That should be the cover for this podcast.
Yeah. All right.
Picture of Big E.
I'll find
If you can
it.
find it, it's really funny. I hope he does one day put out an album.
If you see the album, if you see the pic, did I send you it or?
No, I saw it because I follow. I think Renee Young. She retweeted it.
Yeah. I posted. Yeah, I sent it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I got it. So I'll put that as the cast. Yeah, it was funny because when he actually liked what I wrote and like I think he liked what I wrote because I was like, yo, that's the uncle and your daddy outfit.
Great. That's great.
That's the uncle and your daddy.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yes, it
fucking
is.
you had After the Bell with Baron Corbin, which was actually a really good conversation. I did like that conversation a lot.
Mm.
And I feel Corbin. I was like, yo, I agree with him. Why hasn't he got a belt yet?
Yeah, you're right.
I
There,
think
there was a point. Okay, let me just make this point about Baron Corbin. There was a point when he was feuding with, wasn't he feuding with Rollins when he was champ? Or
yeah,
no? I'm
yeah,
right, right?
yeah,
That was this year. No, it was the Lacey Evans thing.
yeah.
Was it?
Last year, because that was
So
the no, it was this year because it was no last year because it was in July, because that's when I went to Extreme Rules.
so that's between the time that is that between the time he still had the belt before he lost it again to Brock?
Yeah,
So I think there was time again, because you know how I am with Brock. There's this like I think there was time to give this man a chance to be a heel champion
yeah,
and kind of solidify his place already. Like, we're already fans of him because we've seen the work he puts in
yeah.
and how good he is at being an asshole. But it does just take you up to that next level when you get a belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think especially the heel work he's been doing, I think he should have gotten a belt a long time ago.
He's one of those guys. He's never been gone either.
Nah,
That's another thing.
and he's their top heel. Like he's one of their top heels.
Hmm. I just think the dog food thing and that whole Roman feud kind of dragged him down.
I feel like that. I don't feel the rivalry was bad. I just feel it was too long.
Too long.
I
Definitely too
like
long.
it should have stopped after that. Honestly, after that embarrassment and when Corbin disappointed him, that's where it should have ended.
Okay.
And it should have
All right.
ended him going for the title. But then again, you had Bray Wyatt with it, so
Yeah, I
you
get that.
wouldn't. The factors of them two going at it didn't make sense.
You're right. You're right. You're
Because
right.
if I was a heel, I wouldn't want to go against Bray Wyatt either.
No, I wouldn't.
So I was like, yo, he probably killed me. So I'll stay away from that.
Although, to be honest, you know how he's a huge horror fan. Like
Yeah,
they could bond.
yeah,
I'm saying, you imagine he knocks on his door and they're just talking about movies and the fiend is just nodding his head
yeah.
and just laughing or something. So I don't know, but yeah,
I
he
like
be
that. Yeah, it's funny shit. Bray Wyatt kind of like said a message to Brody Lee. He was like, "Hey, you got a new family, huh? Don't forget about your
oh
old one."
oh wow, okay. Well, stay still. I like that. I like that.
Well, like Luke Harper was really loved backstage. That was something that was a lot of the guys were sad that he left because he was very loved back there.
Okay, cool, cool.
So, yep,
It's just good to know that people miss him. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So
He was really respected back there. So,
it just wasn't the old man.
yeah. Yeah, because even Xavier Woods like wrote something to him too, like now I know what that means.
Okay. Oh wow, that's pretty funny.
Like it's Wednesday night, you know what that means. Yeah, and he
Mm,
posted things like that.
you right.
Um, yeah, so Corey Graves after the bell was actually really good. You had I think it was Naomi on Chasing Glory. That was actually a really good conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, it was this week's Naomi. It was a really good conversation. Talked about her return. Talked about her wrestling and at at the Super Show, the Super
Okay.
Showdown,
Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool.
and everything like that. So it was actually really good.
I got to hear the Sam because they had our truth on,
Okay, I didn't get to listen to that.
and that's really good. I love to hear our truth talk. He
Yeah,
is funny, and uh he is just so like positive. And it's just like, oh man, you just need to hear something like that in a while, man. Just to hear some of that positivity, hear somebody laugh, and just our truth is great, man. He's another national treasure. Oh, and he talked more about the Brock thing too. How they
yeah,
gave him they just like it was a rib between Vince and Paul Heyman
yeah,
to see if he can make Brock laugh. That was that whole thing. They didn't tell what he was gonna say. They just said, "Oh yeah, he's gonna talk. He's gonna come out and say something smart." And basically, they just wanted to see if our truth could make Brock laugh, and of course he did. Of
yeah,
course he
and made Brock want to work with him more.
did. So
So
that's awesome.
that was actually a really funny segment too.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, my bad.
With AJ, he mentioned it was his idea to have AJ dance.
Yeah,
So again, that was my favorite part. One of my favorite parts of the pay-per-view was fucking AJ dancing. So
Yeah.
I
So it
loved
was
it.
actually really good. That was I gotta check that out. And the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, seeing that there's not gonna be no ringside collectibles, they're closed, shut down as well.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, they ain't gonna have no news for a while, but it was actually a really good cast, really good conversations between them. So
There
definitely
was an
check that one
interview
out.
we had too on
Yes,
Friday.
he had Pixel Dan,
Yes.
which
So
I follow his YouTube. I talked
yeah,
about it on the New York
so that's,
Toy Fair one.
so that's all the worlds coming together now.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's good. What else we got? Yeah, it's not a
I
lot.
think
It's not a lot this week. It's
I
not a
think that
lot. Yeah, not a lot.
But for
Uh,
some reason, it doesn't feel like a lot, but the time was still there.
yeah,
The shows weren't shorter.
yeah.
It's still just, well, Raw was how many hours? Is it
It
still
was
three?
still 3 hours. It was just like they put the rest. It wasn't the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah. So yeah, the time was still there. It just wasn't
Yeah,
like completely brand new content. So
yeah.
that's good.
So, yeah. I think the Bump had a bunch of interviews too. So
I
definitely
did
check
see
that out.
some of that. They had Drew McIntyre on one of them.
They had Xavier Woods. They had Alexa, and they had someone else. I forgot who.
So it was pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely check those out. Yeah. I guess we'll wrap this up because there's not a lot to talk about.
Yep.
Next week we'll probably have a full wrestling review and everything like that. Everything wants to make noise right now, but yeah. But yeah, we wrap this up. This is the Wrestling Babble podcast. I'm your host, Mark with the Mic, and my co-host, Louis Beans.
What's up?
Follow
What's
us
up?
on our social medias. You can follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube, Twitch TV, and Twitch TV. All Mark with the Mic. You can follow Red Cyclone Inc.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anywhere and everywhere. Red Cyclone Inc. That's Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Yeah.
And we got a WordPress.
Yep.
So check that out.
Yep. Always remember, follow the Jinkies. Make sure he's washing his hands.
With them sandwiches.
And we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Laters.